Yo, what is going on? So right now, I'm just working on building out a little client sheet. This right here. So right now, I'm working on this client sheet for myself, and the reason I'm doing this is to pretty much help myself and my business and my agency to pretty much make sure my content is going the direction it needs to be going. I don't want to just be creating random content. I'm about to put extreme effort into my content to make sure that it actually has a vision, that it actually has a purpose on the algorithm, and not just like filler content. You see what I'm saying? Got my little matcha right here and whatnot. This was a Dubai chocolate matcha. I don't know what made me get this, but yeah, the lady at the front desk told me it was good, and so I was like, okay, I'm gonna get it. And yeah, but right now, I'm just really realizing the importance of actually having a system. If you don't know who I am, my name is Kalima, and I've been in the online business space for maybe a year and a half now. It's been a little minute. I don't really know, but I know I started like late 2023, getting really interested in online money. I was super big into the gym, and then I got into online fitness coaching. I seen this dude named Bidson Fisher, and I was just like, yo, I need to get like this guy. He had like a funnel, he had like webinars on demand and all this stuff that I didn't know about, right? And if you don't know about growth operations, I'm just speaking on some like really nerdy growth operations stuff, which is kind of like, funnels and all that stuff. I don't want to get into that like super in depth quite yet. Like, I do want to show my work, but yeah, growth operations is just kind of like helping creators who have big brands sell their service or product. Right now, I'm just in this. Who's calling me? Business partner calling me. If you're seeing this, I'm gonna get back to it right now. But it's playing in my ear. But I'm basically just like understanding more and more the importance of having a system under you. Because when I was doing online fitness coaching, I had no system. And so 3-4 months in, I actually started to burn out because I had no systems and no way to understand through the plateau I was going through. I had no way to understand how to scale up from what I was already doing. I didn't know why I was plateauing. And so if you have nothing that's trackable back to the actions that worked or didn't work, then you're kind of effing yourself, and you won't know what's contracting in your business, and then what's also making your business expand even more. So systems like these, where you can go back and like look at, so basically like this, right? This dashboard right here. This dashboard provides questions, a lot of questions that my Claude is going to need to understand to help me to, and I put everything in Claude, bro. I literally have 2 windows, like making sure that one or the other is open. And I put everything into my Claude, right? So the projects that I have the KRT, which is my agency. And then I have another offer that I'm managing right now and another offer that I'm managing right now. And so I put these as separate projects into Claude. So that way, after I finish answering all the questions in the world, bro, like I make so many different questions. And so shout out my mentor. My mentor is actually the one who put me onto this. I have to like transfer everything over to like what's it called? I have to transfer everything over into a Notion document, because Notion's like very, very neat. It's very, very like cosmetic. It looks good. It's an aesthetically pleasing type thing. I'm going to transfer all the questions and stuff on there so I can have like a nice little onboarding document, and then kind of like show that to offer owners who I potentially will work with. It's going to just wow their socks off. Because I mean, when you think about it, an offer owner, you don't have your own stuff organized. You don't think of yourself as a business. You think of yourself as this character. That's just going along this journey. And I realized you need to start treating yourself like a client. I'm my biggest project. I'm my biggest asset. So I need to treat myself like a client. So I do the things that I do for my clients, right? It's kind of like a coach, right? If you have a football coach or a track and field coach, like I had this track and field coach in high school, right? And instead of just being like the fat coaches that just tell you what to do, and they literally have a body that shows that they don't have any experience, although they could have been in their prime earlier into their life and their whatnot, they let go of themselves. So they let go of the principles that give them the validity to be able to tell you something like, yo, go do this. I know this works. Rather than when I got this private coach for my track and field team, he was actually really in shape. He was benching with us in the weight room. He was on the track showing us drills. He was really in shape. So when he talked about something, it's almost as if he has ultimate authority because we know that he knows what he's talking about because of the way he looks, the way he takes care of his own body. His body is his business because he is teaching people how to do track and field. So I know I'm getting into like I'm rambling a whole bunch, but essentially what I'm saying is that you need to, as a business, if you're a young entrepreneur, you really need to make sure that you are treating yourself like a client, bro. Treat yourself like a client. Don't let yourself go just because you think you know what to tell people. You're just as good as them, the person on the other side of the screen or the person you're talking to across from you. You're just like them. You're in the same position as them because you haven't done or kept your values and principles as standards for yourself. So how can you go tell someone what to do, right? That's the internal congruency that as a business owner, you're going to have to start accepting as the truth. You cannot be a fat cat agency owner, fat cat entrepreneur. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So that said, just working on this client dashboard for myself. So I know that the content I'm making is actually valuable and not just like filler content, just, has just purposeless, right? You want to have a system to scale from. And, yeah, this is the first part of the vlog. It's already been like 6 minutes. So about to hop on the phone with one of the offer owners right now and scheme up. So right now, what I'm about to do is put my client's dashboard, one of my clients right now who I just got off a meeting with, where I had her fill out basically a whole client dashboard, asking her all the questions in the world as I'm going to do for myself as well. And the reason why this is so important, especially if you do any type of growth operations or like a content agency, is because you need to have all the know-it-all. You need to have all the information, the background, the lore to build out their whole theme, build out their whole brand and presence. Yo, I love talking about this, guys, because like I realize like when you go into a business model and you learn the skill in the most base model way, you're just learning a skill to being an employee. I realize that you guys need to think like a business owner. Sorry, notifications. Think like a business owner now and learn how to build systems for yourself to make your job easier because you're not an employee. No one's going to tell you what to do. So you need to be able to run a business, especially a multifaceted business where you have like different skills that you put together. You need to make systems that make it easy for you to repeat processes over and over again. So that said, what I'm going to do is put this whole thing into Claude as context. And so because now it's going to be Claude context, I'm going to add it into a folder right here, the offer management Claude context folder. I'm going to add it, boom, choose folder. Matter of fact, I'm going to do Drive because it's in my Google Docs. These are some other offers I'm working on. And then I'm putting, which one is she right here? Boom, client dashboard. And then I ask it to remember that specific file. And so, yep, see now it even opens up from there. Boom. And so what I'm going to tell it to do is make a week's worth of content for me. And now it's time for prompting. You have to know how to prompt the AI. That's a skill in itself too, because a lot of people don't know that you actually need to make sure you know how to speak to AI. How are you speaking to it? Because how are you speaking to your AI? Because the way you effectively communicate to your AI is going to effectively produce what you wanted at a higher probability of it being for what you foresaw. So learn how to prompt your AI, learn how to talk to your AI, and yeah, let's get to it. Okay, but right now I'm just finishing out this prompt because you have to know how to prompt AI. And as I'm doing that, I'm putting like the Claude prompts on a page so people know exactly like when I teach them, all right, because I do work with these offer owners and I'm teaching them as I'm like doing it for them. I'm also teaching them to do it themselves as well. So I'm putting on their client dashboard Claude prompts so that way maybe 3 months, 6 months down the line when I've, because you have to give yourself a deadline for you to be able to reach a goal, right? I noticed that when you don't put yourself in a deadline, you don't move with speed. So you give yourself a deadline to make a certain goal or standard happen for this offer owner, for this content creator. So not only they move with speed, but you move with speed too. And you start thinking larger so that you can excuse me, you start thinking larger so that you can exceed those goals, meet or exceed those goals. So you think larger because you're on a deadline and you actually make it happen, right? Elon Musk, for example, Elon Musk had a whole team of scientists. Long story short, he wanted something to get invented. His team said, okay, after they did the schemes, they said it's going to take years because the technology did not exist. Elon literally laughed at them. He said, you have 6 months. They did it in 6 months. I had a prototype and they made it happen because the deadline enforced the fact that there is no time to lollygag or think too much. You just need to start doing. And so I guess this just kind of ties back to if you give yourself a deadline, you'll actually make it happen. So I'm doing a 3 to 6 month type of deal with the offers that I'm working with because I realize that business owners, you want to learn how to do things for yourself. Business owners don't want to have to rely on somebody who's not going to give, who's not going to give them. If you're relying on somebody outside of your business, they're just not going to care as much as you do. They're not. So the best way to have your business run is with systems that you're in control of, obviously. And obviously you need to delegate, but delegate to a lean team, right? Keep everything really small and trackable back to one missing piece. That's just what I'm learning for the space, the business space that I'm in right now. And that is I think that's my greatest asset right now is thinking big and knowing that, staying up to date with the current trends in the current business space and seeing that people don't want to just get, people don't want to just have somebody in control of their business. It's just human nature. So if you can teach someone to do it themselves, it's giving 10 times more of the value. It's giving literally 10 times more of the value. And they're probably going to want to keep working with you regardless because you taught them so much. Because you spend so much time in that area, of course, they're never going to catch up to you in which you are an expert at specifically. But if you teach them how to do it themselves and give them at least a skill that's valuable enough for them to build themselves out something very big, they're going to want to keep using you, recommending you, no matter what, because you're the expert in that one space for their business. They're not an expert of your business. So as a business owner, I made myself realize, I was like, okay, I need to teach them how to do it and not think I need to leech off of that person for a prolonged amount of time just to keep getting money. No, that's a bottleneck because you're putting yourself in the way, in some sort of way, because then you're creating a dependency. And when there's a dependency on you and you can't focus on the other things that may be higher leverage, you're kind of setting yourself up in the long term. In the short term, it seems cool because you're always getting maybe money off that one person, rev share off that one person, whatever it may be. In growth operations, it is rev share, but teach somebody how to do it themselves. I did personal training. I realized that you don't want to keep people around for too long. They're not going to move at the efficiency or speed if they know they have forever. But if you knew your time was limited, you would act and move aggressively. Boom. So just made the content scripts. I made it in 30 minutes, but I wanted to make it in less. The next time I'm going to try and time and see how long it'll take me to make a content script or a new system for the agency. And right now I just kind of noticed it didn't take me that long. I thought it was going to take longer. One big thing and in baby entrepreneurship, I feel like I'm just now getting out of baby entrepreneurship. I'm preteen right now, learning a lot more and knowing that there's still so much more to learn and it's I know more than the baby entrepreneur, you know what I'm saying? And I think that we as a baby entrepreneur, I used to think in very short time horizons, meaning that I wasn't really focused on what I'm building for 3 to 6 months down the line, maybe 12 months down the line, years with, and so you do things, your actions result in short thinking. So if you're not thinking in the long term, your actions are going to they're going to reflect your short thinking. So you'll do short-term activities that don't have the longest ROI, meaning that you're not really setting yourself up. You're kind of effing yourself over for the long run. But when you think bigger, it results in you thinking in a longer time horizon. So your actions reflect sustained sustainability, right? In your actions, you start building sustainable things, sustainable habits. Habits that aren't sustainable, you start cutting them out. And so when it comes to even your business, the things in your business, like you start to set up systems that help you to sustain, and you think like a real entrepreneur and a business owner. So that said, it took me 30 minutes to build something out with Claude for my client. Claude is going to be your backbone. I'm actually going to start investing more into Claude, like a lot. And then a lot into just like other people and delegations and systems and whatnot. So now I am about to do a loom for the video. Just because I know for a fact that when you see like a content scripting, prompting, and then plan just like this, where it's just a bunch of instructions on how to use it, you can't just send it over and tell your client read through it, because they're busy. And not only are they busy, they don't care about all this nerdy stuff. That's why they're not doing it. I even included like a little like test tracker on here, like middle of funnel test tracker, like really specific to how our middle of funnel content's working, because that's where the main contraction is right now. It's in the middle of funnel content. People don't know what she does when they get on her page, right? So if you look at someone's page, imagine you're in the desert, right? Shout out to my mentor. He put me onto this desert diagram. Imagine you were in the desert right now, and then your top of funnel content is just like you seeing somebody in the desert in the distance far away. And then the prospect, the person on the other side of the phone, they're that prospect. They're the person who's dying right now, last final breath, but they see you in the distance and they're like, whoa, who is this guy? And then they come up closer. Them walking up and getting interested and walking up to you is them swiping over to your page. And so when they come to you and they say, yo, like, what do you do? They're instantly looking you up and down. They're like, okay, this guy has Nike sweatband. This guy has like Nike running shoes on. He has arm gear on. He has Fiji water in his backpack. He's like water pouches around his belt. This guy looks like he knows what he's doing. So in that sense, that's them coming over to your page and then seeing what you do and seeing what you're talking about, seeing your profile funnel, seeing your highlight reels and your students. And that's them just overall checking out like your website, right? And so when you have middle of funnel content, that's supposed to be your, I can't give away too much of the sauce, but this is basic stuff, right? Where it's kind of like the middle of funnel content is just your, it's literally just your, what's your value, right? You don't want to just give off like a crap ton of value, like too much nowadays, like just have like too much value, because it's kind of like, it's people are like in a value overload. Everybody's giving value. So with your middle of funnel, you just want to give experience, speak to what you know, right? Become an expert in your niche and speak to what you know exactly. Like document all your thoughts and everything, all your mindset value in that one specific in sector of content, your middle of funnel. And it'll allow people when they come over to your page, when they analyze you, right? It shows that you know what you're talking about. You know how to get around the desert, right? So that said, I built out like a document that's more like middle of funnel strong and gave her content for the next 7 days. And then her bottom of funnel content, just crafting out her story and then crafting out like videos that kind of like introduce who she is, but not introduction, but more so just like, this is how I succeeded at sales. This is how I've been successful in life. And then also it's going to be showing her, it's going to be showing people her story so they can connect with her, so that they understand, who is this person? Oh, this person is just like me. That's what we want them to say. So that said, crafting out the middle and bottom of funnel, middle being the main priority, bottom of funnel being more so like the story and proof and showing other client testimonials. That'll be like the last priority right now. We want to go in phases and strengthen each one, because they're all going to be trackable back to me. And I need to be able to see what to kind of like see. I want to be able to see what's not working, what is working, what's contracting, what's expanding, that type of thing. Blah, 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 blah. So yeah, I'm going to make a loom for her, because I want to be able to send looms out to all clients whenever they're seeing like the content dashboard. Yeah, let's get it done. Yo, boom. So I just finished making the loom. I think I'm going to go on a walk. Why not? Just get outside. I just finished making the loom for the weekly content script for one of my clients. I'm getting super big into how content really just affects you. Like, not even just how it affects you, but like just how important it is overall to making sure that if you are a business or someone looking to grow, just as a person, bro, you need content, bro. You need content, bro. You literally need to make sure, like, if you're building something in public, you're recording content at all times, because this is the asset that is going to be a superpower to your business. It is the marketing for your business. You see what I'm saying? So if you think of yourself like a walking business, like your energy, you are cash flow. You need marketing for your business. That's like a burp right there. I don't know what I just did. It was like a burp. But yeah, let's go on a walk. I already got my matcha earlier, so like it would have been cool like going to like matcha run. Dubai chocolate matcha. But I guess like I just probably like go to Panera Bread and get a sandwich maybe. I don't know yet, dude. I don't quite know yet, but we'll see. Yo.
I have a quick question. Yeah, I like the stuff. Do you want me to still record YouTube video?
Yeah, for sure. It's on there. YouTube video ideas.
Oh.
Bro, she didn't read anything. She just scrolled through it. She says too many words. Look at it later. But yeah, it's good. It's good.
Looks good. My intuition says it's good.
My intuition says it's good. So it's good.
Talk to you later.
Okay, cool. Yeah, just shoot me a text when you upload them.
Okay, perfect.
Okay.
I'm gonna do that right now.
Bet. All right, later.
Perfect. Bye-bye.
Cool. Let's go to Panera. I feel like I deserve it now. Thank you. Wait, they can't hear you. They can't hear you. Hold on. All right, so I didn't end up going home. I actually just started working on some more like client stuff. Took a couple setting calls for one of my offers that I was managing. Took a couple setting calls for. I thought they were playing house music. I was like, hold on, we're playing some firehouse music. But took a couple setting calls just for one of the offers I'm managing right now. I was in a setting call and the person who I was setting was already in the mentorship that I'm helping him to, like, I'm upselling him basically. I'm upselling him. I'm upgrading him within the mentorship. He wants to go from like community to one-on-one. And so I basically told him, like, because he asked me, he said, yo, in my mindset right now, what are some things that you kind of like can point out in my mindset that help me to get to the next level? Well, it's easy to see. It's way easier to see. It's 1,000 times easier to see what you're missing within your mindset and what's going to help you to get past that ceiling or plateau when you are the person who gets past that plateau, rather than just the person who is trying to get past the plateau. Because if you're just the person working at the 9 to 5 trying to make things work, then you're just the guy at the 9 to 5 who's trying to make things work. But if you're the creative director, if you're the business owner, if you're the entrepreneur at the 9 to 5 that's using the 9 to 5 to fund his 5 to 9, then you are an entrepreneur that's eventually going to get out of that 9 to 5 and have a business, because you've been thinking like an entrepreneur. So that just goes to say, like, if you start moving like an entrepreneur right now, if you start moving like a business owner right now, your actions are going to reflect one of a business owner, one of an entrepreneur, rather than somebody who's just trying to take the actions that an entrepreneur would take. It starts in the mind. So that said, you don't even know your mindset shift can help you to make a few decisions that you haven't made quite yet, because you couldn't see the options, you couldn't see the decisions there. Your awareness wasn't there because your mindset had you focusing on different things, distracted by a different way of thinking, rather than you shifting your mindset and allowing yourself to see new opportunities and observe new opportunities because of the shift in your mindset. It all starts in the mind. So I just got my daily Chipotle, and on the way back from home, on the way back to home I should say, it has been a day, but it's been a productive day at that. So I'm not mad at it, and I'm not even done. Some stuff that I got to get done for a couple of different clients. Gonna do a dashboard, client dashboard stuff, I guess you could say. Just overall, just making the cosmetics and organization for the agency a whole lot better. And yeah, finish off my day pretty much. I guess I'll just show you guys some of the work that I have left pretty much. But other than that, it's pretty much not that much left to do. But It is a beautiful freaking night. It's not much going on. It's kind of plain where I'm at right now, but Cali's so much better than Vegas. Anywhere is way more aesthetic. So I'm gonna finish off some work. When I get inside, pretty much home, I guess I'll show you guys the last of what I have to do before I go to bed, and just like my night work, I guess you could say. And then I'll kiss you guys on your forehead goodnight type shit. I lied, but it is the next morning. Did it all over again. Got my, what is this? Dubai chocolate matcha. Did it all over again, man. But it was a good day yesterday. I moved the needle a lot yesterday. And I really realized that you need to focus on things outside of just what you're trying to focus on, whether it's a business or a sport. Focus on the things outside of that that make you high energy so you can show up to the business or the sport or whatever you're doing with the highest energy and do the most highly impactful tasks for the most return on your investment of time. That said, I'm high energy right now. Go out there, kill it. 20% of what you have to do in the day, most likely you'll get done like that. Or if you just focus on it for a minute, let me turn this down. All that stuff, like, it's done like pretty quick. That's what I've noticed, especially in business. Like, you can get done with what you have to do in like 4 hours or less if you really just focus on it. And then you have the rest of your day to really like kind of just focus on like maybe like little side fires to take out and stuff like that. But you have the rest of your day to really just think on the person of who you, the human, right? The human, who you're becoming, because that person is what's going to show up to the next deep work block of time, the next deep work, 4 hour deep work that you have to do. You need good energy for it. You don't need bad energy. And if you don't have good energy to when you show up for work or whatever, you're going to be doing busy tasks and whatnot. You'll be focusing. You'll start to notice that the effort and efficiency you put into your work will go from 100% to 90 to 80 to 60, 50, because you're focusing on like busy work and it's not highly impactful tasks. That said, you want to make sure to come with the highest energy so you can do the most high impact tasks and only do those. And build that routine. Your routine is super important. Don't be standing in your room or the box in the sky that if you live in a penthouse, if you live in a freaking, I know like a lot of my viewers be rich type shit. But if you're not, then don't stay in your room in your freaking basement, bro. Like, get outside, go on a walk. Super important. That's it for me. No more yappy yap time. Goodbye. Appreciate you for watching. Later.
Reach me, baby. Call my phone and say you need